Hey, what's up guys? Capo Isabel here, and I'm going to start off with a few updates. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded lately. Between drama, relationship issues, and health issues, I haven't had much time to work on the channel. Also, as some of you may know, I deleted my Discord server, partly because it was pretty dead, and partly because I just needed a break from Discord. Well, I've made a new one, so I'll leave a link to it in the description or pinned comment below. I haven't quite decided which one yet. Lastly, I have a new editor, Yuko. I have her editing my videos just to take a little bit of the work off of my shoulders, so hopefully I'll be able to make more videos. Anyway, let's get to the actual topic of the video. You see, I'm rather annoyed. Animal Crossing New Horizons is just around the corner, and you'd expect me, Capo Isabel, to be hyped. Well, I've lost my hype over Animal Crossing New Horizons. I don't really have a video to talk about this time, so why not? Let's talk about Nintendo's incompetence. Let's start off by talking about Nintendo Switch Online real quick. I'll get back to talking about Nintendo Switch Online, but I just need to be able to cover the basics in order to make my arguments about Animal Crossing. You see, Nintendo Switch Online is the paid subscription service that allows you to play games online. Who would have guessed that? But there are a few other benefits that the service provides, such as access to the NES and SNES emulators on the Nintendo Switch, access to the Nintendo Switch Online app, and most importantly for this part of the video, the cloud storage. Basically, you have to pay Nintendo for access to backing up your save data on the cloud, which is fine enough. PlayStation does the same thing. The big difference, however, is PlayStation actually allows you to, use this for any of their games. Nintendo, on the other hand, will make specific games unavailable for the cloud save storage. A couple of examples of these games are Splatoon 2, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Dark Souls Remastered, and the upcoming Animal Crossing New Horizons. Why the fuck is Dark Souls Remastered not allowed? Like, what the fuck? There's a whole laundry list of other games, but I'm sure you get the point. Nintendo makes us pay for the cloud service just to not be able to use it for a large portion of their games. Nintendo also has a very weak excuse on why these games aren't compatible. But Animal Crossing New Horizons has by far the dumbest reasoning. Here recently, it has been revealed that Animal Crossing New Horizons will only have one island per Nintendo Switch console. For those who don't know what the fuck that even means, basically, there is one shared save file per console. And before somebody tries to correct me, I know all 8 accounts that can be on a Nintendo Switch console can play, but they're all playing on the same island cooperatively. This is absolutely ridiculous considering all 8 accounts on one console can have separate save data from each other. I know, because I use this for Pokemon, so I can get English and Japanese Pokemon. Gotta have those 6 IV Japanese Dittos for breeding. Now, some Animal Crossing fans have defended this and said that it doesn't matter to them. Spoiler alert, I don't care if it doesn't matter to you. I'm more concerned about the perspective of someone who would love to get into this game series, but also need to share the Nintendo Switch consoles with siblings. And they don't want to have to risk the fact that their sibling could completely screw over their island. On top of that, we have barely gotten any new information on Animal Crossing New Horizons, and it's a month away from the game's release. We basically have the same information, maybe a little bit more, that we got from the E3 presentation. And the majority of that information that we have gotten since then is not positive information, such as the news about the no cloud data and one island per Switch. I'm going to end off this part of the video with a question. Why has this game been hyped up to oblivion when we barely know anything about it? Well, coming from the perspective of an Animal Crossing fan, I think it's more about the fact that we haven't gotten a true Animal Crossing game in, like, 8 fucking years since Animal Crossing New Leaf was released. Yes, we got Pocket Camp, aka Microtransactions, the video game, and Amiibo Festival, aka Please Buy Amiibos, the video game. But those aren't really true Animal Crossing games. Fans of the series are just starved for a true game, and we're willing to take whatever the fuck we're given. But also, at the same time, as an Animal Crossing fan, it really pisses me off when other Animal Crossing fans just write off any complaints as just complaining, and those people had no intentions of buying the game anyway. I had intentions of buying the game. Now I'm just questioning whether or not I will because Nintendo's really fucking stupid. Anyway, as many of you know, especially those from Hyrule Gaming Group on Twitch, you should follow them. They're really dank. I was really hyped for Animal Crossing New Horizons, but I don't want to blindly support Nintendo when they're blatantly doing things that I don't like. I'll buy the game if they end up patching it so that you can use cloud storage and get rid of the one island per Switch thing, but until then, I'll be passing on Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, originally, I was going to end the video here, but I decided, fuck it, let's continue to talk about Nintendo, shall we? Now, here recently, Byleth has been added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as DLC. Many people took it as an opportunity to mock the negative opinions on it and say, "Ho's mad." What's that? You made a well-constructed argument on why Byleth being added isn't good? Ho's mad! Ignoring the fucking troglodytes who are going to continue to say Ho's mad, I'll give a couple of reasons why Byleth being added is a bigger problem than people make it out to be. First, Nintendo openly acknowledged they'd get hate for adding this fighter into the game, and did it anyway. As many of you may have noticed on your first or maybe second viewing, Sothis in the trailer says,
"I see. Too many swordsmen, are there?"
A clear jab at the people who are going around saying that there are too many sword fighters represented in the game. Now, this argument is also taken out of context, since many of the people who complain about the sword fighters were happy when they saw Cloud, a sword fighter. Reason being, Cloud is at least representing a much-beloved franchise that isn't represented in Smash yet. Fire Emblem, on the other hand, has 8 fucking characters, all of which wield a sword. Fire Emblem has so many classes of fighters, other than swordsmen. Yet the only way they decide to show this is by having Robin use spells alongside the Levin sword, and Byleth wielding the house leader's weapons alongside his sword. On top of this, here recently, Masahiro Sakurai had an interview with Famitsu where he agreed with people saying that there were too many Fire Emblem characters and too many sword fighters. Yet Nintendo added another Fire Emblem character who uses a sword. This is completely out of Masahiro Sakurai's control, by the way. A lot of people are blaming him for some fucking reason, even though he clearly said at the beginning of the game's launch that the DLC was decided by Nintendo. Of course, he gave suggestions, but he did not have the final say. To try to mitigate a little bit of the problems with adding Byleth as a sword fighter, Sakurai decided to have him use the other weapons as well, but it really didn't matter. Nintendo basically threw Sakurai under the bus with the whole adding Byleth thing, and then just watched the fucking shit show ensue. The thing that really pisses me off, though, is when people defend Byleth's edition by saying Fire Emblem Three Houses sold so well, of course they're gonna add a representative from the game. Those people clearly ignored the fact that the DLC fighters were all planned before the game even came out. So, they're just trying to justify the character's addition by any means necessary. Nintendo planned to add Byleth regardless of Fire Emblem Three Houses' success in an attempt to promote the game, promote the DLC, and not learn from their past mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, let's talk about Nintendo Online again. For anyone who has a Nintendo Online subscription, you may already know that it's the biggest waste of money. The only reason why we suck it up and buy it is because there's a large portion of games that would be completely useless. I'm looking at you, Splatoon 2. However, when you look at what services are being provided by Nintendo, it shows even more that they didn't really give a shit about making the fans happy and just wanted you money. We already talked about how the cloud storage is an absolute joke, but let's cover some of the other awful services. The Nintendo Online app, aka, oh yeah, that exists, is an app sorely lacking when you consider you have to pay for a subscription in order to use it. Splatoon 2 section is kind of nice, being able to see statistics on the go and even order items through the app and get them in-game, just in case the shops in-game didn't have what you really wanted. But that's the only section I found anything useful from. Smash has the content sharing available on the app, and I honestly don't give a shit about custom stages, Miis, screenshots, or replays, so it's 100% useless. Some people might find it useful, but the features are in the game anyway, so who gives a shite? You also have what Nintendo was clearly wanting people to use the app for. Voice chatting with friends while playing online. But why the fuck would I use Nintendo's shitty app when I could just go over and open Discord, which is free and a better experience? Sometimes. Then there's the NES and SNES emulators you gain access to. While they seem cool and all, they aren't really that important to me, considering a lot of the games that are on there I already have or I have no interest in playing. Right now, the SNES emulator has nothing really of interest to me, but it's still early on. They could potentially add some more games. The NES section has a pretty decent-sized library. However, like I said, a large portion of these games I already own in other means, so I don't really care. Overall, all things considered, though, it's not that bad. If you want the NES and SNES online, then it might be worth it, but you also get all this other shit with it too, so I mean... Oh, wait, I almost forgot. There's also a special NES controller, exclusive for anyone who has Nintendo Switch Online to buy. Yeah, you have to pay for their shitty online subscription, and on top of that, pay for the fucking controller plus shipping and handling. Last, let's talk about the actual online experience. As per usual for Nintendo, the online is probably one of the worst you can find. Disconnects and poor connection aplenty when you play with Nintendo Switch Online. Apparently, you have a better connection if you have an Ethernet cable, but... yeah, I can't really do that, considering I'd have to bring the fucking Ethernet cable through 4 different rooms in my goddamn house just to connect it to the router. And I know somebody out there is going to be a contrarian and say, well, they need to charge for online so they can keep servers up. Well, my very defensive friend, interesting you point that out when a large portion of games don't even have dedicated servers. Smash? No. Splatoon? No. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? No. ARMS? No. We're paying for online just so that Nintendo can continue to have more money in their pockets, and they provide us nothing of worth in return. All those games I just mentioned desperately need dedicated servers, and yet Nintendo is ignoring the player base that are requesting these dedicated servers just because they don't give a shit. That would cost money. They don't want to spend money if they don't have to. 'Tis the model of the modern company in the gaming industry, after all. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm eagerly awaiting some Nintendo fans calling me a hater in the comment section. Arrivederci. Hey, Capo Isabel here again after I had said arrivederci, which is weird. I kind of forgot to mention that the Joe Bros podcast is dead, but I have a new podcast that's going to be made. I have 2 new co-hosts for it. We're still working on the name for it, and I'll explain the details on why the Joe Bros podcast is dead in the first episode of that podcast. So look forward to that. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I plan for it to happen somewhat soon. So keep your eyes open for that, and arrivederci. It's time for real.
激しい喜びはいらない。その代わり深い絶望もない。そんな平穏な生活こそ私の目標だ。キラークイーン、キラークイーン、キラークイーン、キラークイーン、いつも殺すことができた。